Hey everyone, it's Brett Hornby here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel here, and actually got some fairly recent Calgary Flames news as one of our biggest restricted free agents upcoming this season. We actually got them signed early here, and figured it's better to do it now and not have it drag out in the summer like last season. And we were anxiously waiting for Matthew Tkachuk to resign, but here we are. In January here, Calgary Flames have locked up defenseman Rasmus Andersson, who I figured of the restricted free agents, he was the biggest fish to fry. And we got him locked up now, and I'm going to definitely say, looking at the deal, it definitely looks a little much right now, but I think, it's not going to, the way he's progressing, this might actually be a steal, like early in the contract here, as the Calgary Flames have re-signed Rasmus Andersson to a 6-year deal. So it's all a deal that's going to put him in much of his prime with the Calgary Flames, and it's worth $27.3 million for the whole contract, which the cap hit works out to be about $4.55 million here. And at this stage of the game, he definitely is a top 4 defenseman, and he's just, entering and about to play out his entry-level contract here, and is definitely showing that he can play some grit, as you definitely fought Braden Shen in that game where we got blown out in St. Louis there. But he also showing especially on the right side, that you can, may have a shot to blast from the blue line there, and so I definitely feel like that this is definitely a great signing, and definitely nice to get one of our biggest restricted free agent prizes locked up, and to get him up here long term here, and he'll still be, in his late 20s here, as he's 23 right now, so he'll be 29, 30 years old, so he'll play his prime, hopefully, with the Calgary Flames. But, he's signed another 6-year deal here, so he's here for another 6 seasons here. So let's break down the deal here. I know this happened a couple days ago here, but it was late in the evening that I first learned about this, and I was excited about it. And then also the fact that, now that I'm back to work, and with the holidays over, and I had stuff to do in the evening here, so it wasn't until now that I could record it and make my video take on it. But it definitely is a great sign here. As I say, it's a 6-year contract worth $27.3 million here with a cap hit $4.55 million going to cap friendly here. And actually the last 2 years of his deal, which is 2024-25 and 2025-26 here, it has a modified no trade clause, so he'll definitely have more say in this trade if he were to get traded and were to go here. Basically, his base salary, he'll get $5 million and $50,000 next season here, and then $4 million and $50,000 the season after, and then 4.55. So let's just say $4.5 million he's going to make in the 6 years here in Calgary. And his NHL career, he's played 136 games up to this point with the Calgary Flames here. He scored 5 goals, 27 assists for 32 points here, and has 60 penalty minutes. And then he's only played 5 playoff games with the Calgary Flames, which was just this past season. He had a goal and 2 assists for 3 points here. And but numbers aside, I think he's shown, and it takes longer for defensemen to develop here, but I think he definitely still has the potential to be potentially a 40-point defenseman here. But he's definitely a great two-way defenseman here, and he's definitely a top 4 defenseman right now in the NHL. And he definitely made his first NHL debut in 2016-17, where he only played a game. But then his first season, first year of his contract was used up. He played in 2017-18 there, where he played 10 games there. Didn't get a point yet, but that used up 1 year of his contract here. And then his last season, in 79 games, he had 2 goals, 17 assists for 19 points, plus the 5 playoff games here. And up to this point this season, he has 46 games. He has 3 goals, 10 assists for 13 points here. So I definitely see some potential for more offense from Rasmus Andersson on the blue line there. But he definitely is very sound defensively here, and he definitely plays a complete game here. So when you look at the market here, $4.5 million seems about right here. And also, remember, he was drafted in 2015. Second round pick, 53rd overall here. You know, that pick eventually was Vancouver's pick. And that's when we traded Sven Baertschi, Svenmania. We traded him to Vancouver, and we used that draft pick to get Rasmus Andersson. And we definitely won that trade, I would say. Not a bad swap for Svenmania. And the reason why I call Sven Baertschi Svenmania was the fact that I call him that. That's why I personally call him that. When he was drafted 13th overall in 2011 there, he was still playing in junior there. Calgary needed him on an emergency recall that following season, during the 2011-12 season there. He only played 5 games there. He was just an emergency recall, so he doesn't use up a year of his entry-level deal there. I remember he scored like 3 goals in 5 games and provided some initial excitement here. And, you know, being a first-round pick in the Canadian market there, you definitely get a lot more scrutiny there. But he definitely got everyone excited here, and I just called him Svenmania. And he definitely showed some offensive potential there, and kind of fallen out of favor, especially when we had Brian Burke and Bob Hartley here in Calgary, and the fact that he was the defensive side of the game there. And eventually, he was traded for that second-round pick, which looked unusual at the time. And in 2015, at the trade deadline, when we traded him for that second-round pick, that happened to be Rasmus Andersson. It just looked unusual at the time because you didn't know if Calgary was a playoff team at the time, and we sort of sold at the trade deadline. And then it just seemed like a little steep there that we traded Svenmania for a second-round pick. But now in Vancouver, I mean, he's having concussion issues, and hasn't continued that Svenmania with Vancouver there. But still not a bad swap for Rasmus Andersson here. So what do you think about this deal here? I think this could potentially be a steal here. And going back to cap friendly here with the Calgary Flames here, keep in mind this contract does not kick in until next season, the 2020-21 season here. The Calgary Flames next season have already $64.6 million committed in payroll here. So the cap space already next season projected, that's assuming the cap stays at $81.5 million here, is $16.9 million. Let's just say the cap is expected to go up. Let's just say if it goes up a couple $1 million. Let's say the Calgary Flames have $19 million in cap space next season already to play with. Keep in mind that still we have Troy Brouwer and Michael Stone buyout dead space next season at $2.67 million here. And I was saying in previous videos that this was the big restricted free agent that we had coming up here that we had to sign, and we got him signed, and so there's not going to likely be drama coming into the offseason there, because there was a ton of restricted free agents that took well until in the summer and at the start of the season, where eventually we signed Matthew Tkachuk here. But when you're looking at restricted free agents here, well, Mark Jankowski is up. He'll be a restricted free agent with arbitration rights. I personally think Calgary is going to probably move on from him. Then the other restricted free agent arbitration rights is Andrew Mangiapane. I think that's the next big restricted free agent that might require some work here, as he's definitely the next big restricted free agent piece now that Rasmus Andersson is signed here. And Andrew Mangiapane definitely has proven another player that we drafted in 2015 in the 6th round here. So 2015 is looking like a great draft here for the Calgary Flames, considering we traded away the first and a few seconds that we picked up at the deadline when we got Dougie Hamilton. So, like I say, Rasmus Andersson, Andrew Mangiapane. So that's one of the next big, I think, restricted free agent. Then the last one, another pick from the 2015 draft that we made a few deals to draft Oliver Shillington late here. Some actually at the time touted him to be picked in the first round. So I'm going to say we definitely won by we got Dougie Hamilton and Oliver Shillington. He's also up as a restricted free agent, and I think he's definitely him with Juuso Välimäki, which I haven't heard anything yet on timeline of return here. I hear he's doing well in the recovery, but I think he'll likely be playing in Stockton to get reconditioned here. But we have a young defenseman where we have Rasmus Andersson locked up. We got Noah Hanifin locked up, and then I'm going to say we definitely should lock up Oliver Shillington here. However, when you look at the UFA market here, we have both Brody and Hamnick. They're both going to be unrestricted free agents here. Are we going to keep them both? Neither? One of them? That's a big question there. And then same with Cam Talbot. He's an unrestricted free agent after this season. He's definitely proven that he can. I think we should definitely keep him to be around with David Riddick here, but it'd be interesting to see where he progresses. He's played well up to this point here. And then, Michael Stone, I don't think we're going to keep him. We bought him out, but then Juuso Välimäki got hurt here. And then the other UFAs that we have is both Zach Ronaldo and Tobias Reeder, and I don't see them making more than league minimum if we decide to keep them in the organization here. But so yeah, it's all about future proofing here too, which that's something to look at when you have to manage the cap here. And it's nice that we got Rasmus Andersson locked up here, but let's just say we have $18-19 million to play with next season, and that's not barring any trades or whoever is available in free agency here. But I'm definitely happy with this signing, all things considered, at what Rasmus Andersson has shown up to this point, and the fact that I think this deal has potential to be a steal maybe as soon as next year or the year after. So what do you think of the signing here, and what do you think of what the Calgary Flames are going to do going forward with the cap space, since we painted a little picture on the situation with the cap next season here? And you got to remember as well that Matthew Tkachuk only signed for 3 seasons, and the way he's progressing, that we're going to need to make space for him after when his contract's up. He's still going to be actually a restricted free agent at the end of his contract, while this contract that we signed with Rasmus Andersson, he'll be an unrestricted free agent here because you play 7 seasons in the NHL before you become eligible to be an unrestricted free agent if you come in, after you draft year, when you're drafted 18 there. And then also you got Sean Monahan and Johnny Gaudreau. They're definitely going to be in for some more money when their contracts are up, and same with Dave Riddick here. And he'll be an unrestricted free agent after next season, after the 21-22 season there. So that's something you got to be a smart general manager and look at that as well. Not only just the cap space now, but in the future there. So I have to say, what do you think of the deal? And of course, if you enjoy everything that I do on my YouTube channel, just make sure you hit like, subscribe, and thanks for following up to this point. Go Flames go, and I'll see you in the next video.